We started with a very crude prototype. 3 people were there. That was like a parking lot. So we are always solving the problem statement in real time.
We've always been like 2 and 4. That's why we had a lot of debate internally to figure out whether we should invest our time in this at all.
A lot got covered in the first couple of years that we knew we are solving something very big.
So your robots are in place. I don't think they will be disrupted. So just help me understand what this space is about.
Right. So this floor we treat it as a R&D validation verification floor. What I mean is, like, for verification, any engineering team does any new feature test or new feature development, they want to test on the hardware real systems, they use this floor, and after they test, they say, okay, this is good feature to release. It goes to the validation team. That those are independent team than the engineering team. They basically run the whole flow, and they basically do a further test on the feature that is released by the engineering team to us.
Okay.
And any other R&D, some features we want to keep on the repeat test. For example, there was a weighing scale over there that we designed recently. We wanted to test it, so again it happens over there. So separate team will just handle that area and they will just do the robot running on that continuously. It's a mix of multiple things, but largely a hardware and testing place.
Okay. So actual R&D happens on a different floor. This is only for
this is mainly
validation.
on a hardware testing front. So the physical items are getting tested here, but the design, the firmware, all those R&D activities are happening on the first floor.
Okay.
That's where the larger team sits.
So we have a separate electronics embedded lab. We have a mechanical lab down here. So it's a small place where they can do any assemblies, sub-assembly test, etc., etc.
Okay.
But this is more of a testing floor for us. And any repeat test you want to do, or you want to do something on the robot, you want to test like 10 kg dumping every time.
Right.
Again, they will ask for the resource here. We need a robot. Give us a resource. Give us a space. They get it, and then testing happens.
So this is let's say a few robots running here. As I mentioned, we also have another premises. That's where the large scale testing happens before we ship any goods to the customer. So if you want to roll this out to a larger fleet, then we test it out in the factory, where 20, 30, 50 plus robots can run together, and we test the feature out at a larger scale. So this is where the first, let's say, the new feature gets tested, and then we validate that, and then we ship it out to the factory, and that's where the large scale testing happens, and then we ship it out.
So FAT happens in the factory.
Factory acceptance tests happen in the factory.
In the factory. Okay.
A lot of elements can differ, right? You run one robot, you need 10 robots. Again, the feature might come out in a very different way.
Right.
So just to be sure that we have right filters of testing.
So if you want to fail in your experimentation, this is where
This is
you can.
this is the place. Yeah.
This is the place to try it out.
To
Okay.
fail.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And so help me understand what this floor is for.
So our robot goes very fast. So
Okay.
it can go up to 3 to 3.2 meter per second. To enable the robot, we need a right friction with the floor and the wheel. So this carpet enables robot to do that.
Okay.
Now robots can run on any floors, but then depending on the coefficient of friction on the floor, we reduce the speed of the robots, etc. But when we do a testing, we prefer to test it at the max capacity. So we want to run it at the max speed, so we use this carpets for that.
But otherwise, robots are running on different floors, including concrete. A lot of places, people have been, let's say, using concrete or even wooden floors sometimes. If it is a wooden floor, we have a panels which we can mount on the floor, any kind of floor, and we can run on those panels as well. So we are kind of floor agnostic.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what kind of flooring you have. We have a way to deploy the robots.
And so customers have this type of flooring or
It depends.
in their warehouse?
It depends on customers'
Depends.
flexibility.
Yeah, it depends.
But what I meant was, when we test at the fastest speed.
Right.
And for that fastest speed test, this is what we need.
Okay.
But now, side to side, the speed varies, the requirement varies. Sometimes customers' floor is very smooth, very nice, and they want, okay, run at slow speed, we are okay, but run in the same floor. We do that.
Got it.
They are okay to modify, we want to run at higher speeds, we do modifications.
Right.
Or sometimes they let us use this carpet as well. So it's just
Okay.
pasting the carpet is a very quick activity.
Okay.
Doesn't really change a lot of like infrastructure. at
This
the
is the same
customer side.
carpet you will find in metros, in trains, in aeroplanes. It's
So
just
the same
very
kind of
easily
thing,
available.
okay.
Yeah.
And there are these places where you have these markings also, right, for the robot to follow.
so this
I
one?
mean, those are not used anymore.
Not the lines.
No,
Not the
the
lines.
lines are basically because robot has moved a lot, right?
Moved a
So
lot.
you see the marking of
Oh, it's the
the
marking
mark of
because
the
of
wheel.
that.
Of the wheel.
I see. Okay.
But we need that QR code, that's it.
Oh, this is a QR code, is it?
Yeah.
That's the QR code.
Oh,
We do
there's-
have a robot version without using that QR code.
Okay.
But it's
Costly.
It's costlier robot for the customer. If they really want to buy it, they can buy it.
Okay.
But most of the deployments are happening with the QR codes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So maybe we should see one of your robots. I
Yeah,
think
sure.
that could be the next thing. So help me understand what this guy does.
So there are different types of robots. So this is one of the models. So we call it SR650 Lite. So these robots are having a conveyor on top. There is a base and then there's a middle. In the middle there is a lift. So the idea is to drop the packages using these robots to the appropriate location. So we use group of such robots. These robots get the packages on their top, like this conveyor. After the scanning information tells us about the destination about the package. So we are doing sorting of different types of packages as per maybe customer IDs, stores, regions, pin codes using these robots. These robots take the package from the scanning station to the right kind of a rack. The rack can be of different designs. And it places or it puts the package in the right location. Once it drops the package, the system gives the confirmation back to the customer saying that, okay, we have sorted this package, please take this out. And once that bin or let's say the slot is emptied, we allocate the next order or next set of packages to that particular location.
Okay.
So it's a continuous movement of these robots right from the scanning stations to the racks and then again back to the scanning stations.
Okay.
So this is more of a testing setup, so that's why you don't see many robots running here. But the idea is same, that you keep getting these packages getting sorted out using these robots. So just to give an example, let's say in one of our deployments, we have deployed about 50 robots to sort around 3,000 packages in an hour in about 2,000 slots or 2,000 destinations, which are mapped in the racks. So it's always a group of robots sorting thousands of packages every hour.
And what is a typical distance that every robot travels during the day?
Depends.
It depends on the layout size as well.
Layout sizes.
For example, our largest site in Belgium, my understanding will be in an 8-hour shift, robot will be easily traveling beyond 50 kilometers.
Okay, wow, that's quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
And how do you make sure that none of them collide into each other?
That's our proprietary algorithm where we basically do so we call it a conflict resolution. So in a very simple term, let's say each of these locations or area that robot has to occupy is a resource. Now everybody wants the same resource. How do you allocate it efficiently?
Right.
So that's what is our algorithm is all about. We get an inspiration from the ant or how the ants work in the group. So the algorithm is called ACO, it's called Ant Colony Optimization Algorithms, which are largely used to basically optimize the paths. But it has one interesting problem where it basically tells you that what is the shortest path to go. So that doesn't work for us, because then if I find all the shortest path, all robots will go there and there will be a lot of congestion. So we basically do some tweak in that algorithm in a way where rather than showing the shortest path, we look at a most optimal path where there is a less traffic. So less traffic is better because robot can, even though distance is longer, doesn't have to wait in a traffic longer. And that's how we basically optimize the whole swarm in a very compact area.
Interesting.
And few other very basic optimizations where we can talk about is if robot is loaded or the robot is not loaded, which one should go? Probably a loaded one, right? But let's say a robot is loaded, other robot is not loaded, but there are 3 robots waiting behind. Which robot should go? Of course, the unloaded, right? So these kind of lot of nuances are there which are packed into one very simple algorithm, which is allowing us to have a higher throughput in a very compact space.
So just for our viewers, if you can help us understand typically what the ant colonization example really is, right? What do they do? What do ants do, and what is it that is mimicked?
So usually, let's say there is a food at point B, and there is a hive starting at point A. So there is a home at A and there is a point B. In the beginning, ants just randomly moves everywhere, and one ant will find some food. Now, when ants move, they basically drop a small trail of chemical or a pheromone, which a following ants will
keep walking here.
Which the following ants will be able to smell that and follow the trail. And more ants go and follow the same path again and again. The smell, it basically gets denser and denser, and that's how eventually you find a very shortest path or a straight line, because that's where the quickly you go and come back. Right? So that's how ants operate. In our case, they don't work out, because if that happens, all robots will go in the same path and there will be a lot of choking. So we have to do some innovation in it and find the right approach which fits right for us. But we still stick to that approach because it is much more computationally efficient. So we know that there is that approach is better, but then we have derived our own IP and algorithm around that, which will suit our needs.
Interesting. So I'd like to really understand, what a robot kind of constitutes, right? It's different components.
Right.
What is it made up of? And typically, what do you get from which part of the world? What is it called? The robot. This category of robots. What are they called?
So these are like mobile robots.
Right.
AGVs.
In
AGVs.
our internal model numbers are like sorting robot SR450, SR550, SR550.
So that's basically
that is
defines the
mainly
length of this?
Oh,
size
sorting
of the
robot.
conveyor,
Okay.
sorting
SR.
robot,
Okay.
and the conveyor size. So conveyor size basically defines the model number for us, and conveyor size basically determines what kind of package you can put on the robot.
Okay.
So the robot is broadly categorized into three parts: the bottom, the middle, the top. The bottom part has all the electronics, the camera at the bottom, the battery pack, the hub motor which is driving the wheels. Then there is a lifting element in the middle, where we have an electric actuator which helps us go up and down fast. And then there is a conveyor on the top with the sensors to detect whether the package has been placed or not. So that's a broad, let's say, description of the robot.
And there are a lot of nuances, like it doesn't detect just the placement, it also detects and makes the parcel go as back as possible so that I get a better traction to push. Just these small things where optimization helps and where eventual product comes out nice. So what we've done in-house, the whole control of this system is completely designed by us. Okay. So we have our own FOC control, FOC-based motor driver.
What is FOC?
It's a field-oriented control. It's one of the algorithms that is used to drive BLDC motors.
Okay.
And we have designed, developed in-house completely, including the hardware. Bottom side at the back is all energy. So battery pack is Unbox design.
Okay.
BMS we still buy it from an Indian vendor. But battery pack is completely our IP.
Okay.
At the front, you see all the controls and drives sit over there. So right from a robot low-level controls like controlling the lights, controlling the buttons, etc. That whole control is our own in-house grown system. We have our own proprietary power control. So you can turn on and off robots in a power switch off. It's completely digital. So that's again completely designed by us. Then we have a low power control system as well. So anything that is not motor, not like high power equipment, again you need to control them, right? Like you need to give a power to this light or maybe some power to LEDs, some sensors. Again, that is controlled through our own proprietary system all overall. We buy one compute board. It's just a computational, just like one motherboard that you can say. We buy it from a I think Taiwan-based company. Sensors that we use, the camera that comes from Germany.
Okay.
Pretty much everything else is we get it from India.
So more than 90% of the parts come from India. Certain parts are imported directly. Very few parts are directly coming from outside India. And there are several parts which come indirectly, as in there are OEMs which might be European or let's say foreign entities, but they have a local presence through their subsidiaries or maybe their distributors. So in that case, we don't have to really import directly. But most of the parts are now getting manufactured here in India. Yeah.
Which are the parts that are most difficult to manufacture in India?
So there are various reasons why we will not do in India or get it from outside. Not necessarily we are not able to do it, but maybe not the right cost here.
Okay.
So sometimes that matters. So many times actuations, etc. is usually much more cheaper to import at the moment.
What is an actuation?
So motors, you can see this electric actuator that makes the robot go up and down.
Does the vertical lift.
That one comes from a country from Europe.
Okay.
Dry motors are there. There's a drum motor here which rotates this.
Okay.
Now it can be done in India, no problem. It's just at the moment the price point is not making sense.
Okay.
But we have our own homegrown design for this motor, by the way. But we are still not manufacturing because cost is not making sense.
Right.
So we already have a working prototype of this particular motor. But we are not gone for production of that as of now.
So for the battery, other than the cells, it's completely made in India. So even BMS is Indian BMS, and it's a certified battery, 62619, fully industrial grade, no issues. The cells we still get it from, I think 80% of the market is controlled by China, so we get cells from China.
Okay.
So we don't have at the moment any control over that, so we have to import those things. And some optics like cameras, etc., we still get it from Europe, mostly from Europe or some countries in US. So few other cameras we use in our system, you see over there that Cognos, I think that's American company. So that's for the scanning the barcode on the robot. So the cameras, etc., we still import.
Okay.
At the moment, we don't see a good ecosystem of that yet in India.
Okay.
But other than that, I think pretty much everything, we aim to get everything done in India. Even compute board, with time, we will be replacing and making our own and then manufacturing it over here. So that's our goal as well.
And what is the bulk of the cost of the robot? I mean, like
Most of the parts goes, electronics components are the
majority of the cost of the
Majority.
product will be sensors and electronics.
Sensors and electronics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously,
So that is an ecosystem you're saying that has to be developed in India, basically. And with scale, that will happen.
Yep.
With skill, that should happen,
Is there anything else that could be the limiting factor? I mean, we already have the talent, so that shouldn't be the issue, right? I mean, it's more.
Talent should not be an issue.
See, I think it's just there is no need or there is a push at the moment, right? Like the whole ecosystem, right from the government to the ground, grassroots things has to happen.
Okay.
So probably once this industry is getting, I mean, is predicted to be like one of the largest industry in next 2 decades. So if we invest and our time and energy now, I think that will be fruitful in another decade or so.
Got it.
So I think a lot of things from right policies to other things that has to come in, and then only we'll be able to do something better over here.
Got it. So the version that we saw is obviously the commercial version, but this would have taken some time to develop, right? To come to.
Yeah.
So how many versions or iterations did you all have to go to, and over what period of time?
So we started with a very crude prototype in China. I, Shahid, and three people were there. We had a very not so good looking, noisy robot back then. That was our first prototype. Over a period of 2 to 3 years, we ended up building about 7 iterations, like 7 versions of the robot. And we introduced the 7th version in the customer warehouse as a pilot, paid pilot.
Okay.
So that was the first, let's say, commercial pilot. And then we kept improving based on the feedback. And then we had the 8th version, which was good for Indian development, like deployments. And the 9th version was the CE certified version that was deployed in Europe or let's say Western markets.
Okay.
So right now we are looking towards 10th version.
10th
as
version,
we speak.
wow.
We call it a
That's
V10.
amazing.
Our end goal is V10.
Yeah.
Where a lot of fundamental architecture change will happen.
Okay.
In fact, now we sell is a V9.1 version, which is even more enhanced than V9 that we had. What we looked at was, okay, manufacturing is done, cost is done, but now maintenance is a big problem.
Right.
So we did a lot of changes from V9 to V9.1 to enable maintenance. So that's how our progress has been. From early stage, it was all about what is stable, what is not stable, what we should buy and test it out, things like that, right? Then we did, okay, should we build something in-house so that we don't have this dependency? So that's how the whole iterations has been.
Nice.
And for us now is all about where you can improve the cost, improve the maintenance, improve the uptimes.
Right.
But V10 will be completely a different architecture where we expect around 90-95% of the items complete indigenous,
Okay.
right? So
And
that's
does the
how it
certification take time? The CE certification that you
It took time. I think it took about
So-
1 year.
So
1 year?
certification don't take time, but complying to certification takes time,
Okay.
right? So there are a lot of nuances when you need to
that
take care of
process
it.
takes time.
Certification will be under 60 days will be done once you have
Once
everything.
you are
But to get to that point, you need to
Right.
iterate, you have to
And this is
consult
right,
and
yes.
all that. Yeah.
Right. And that is done here in India or?
So we have got
have
it done. So there are a lot of international companies who have a bodies over here as well. So there's a TUV, there's something called Intratech. They are all into compliances.
Okay.
So you can work with any of them and then get your compliances done.
Okay.
So they have the labs to support you with the testing, and then
Nice.
you can go through the lab tests and pass the test and declare that you're now conforming the CE standards.
Ecosystem is still evolving, but it's still there. It's not. I think when we started, it was almost not there, but now things are a bit better.
Yeah.
And now I think there's a lot of things that as a engineering teams has to understand that how to read the certifications or requirements correctly so that you have minimum iterations.
Right.
So I think now slowly as in India as a country everybody is going down that route now.
Right.
Like everything has to be done, tested. See the document is like a lot of documents. You need to read it, make sense of it.
Right.
And so I think what we have seen a difference in European engineering over here is that like so those people, even the people know that what is required in the compliance, so they design accordingly.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not about the capability; it's about just knowing the right thing.
And CE works worldwide, or is it only for?
Mainly for Europe,
Europe.
but there are other standards in other regions which are very similar to CE. So if you are
Okay.
passing the test for CE,
The UK
you're
CE is one of
covering-
the examples.
You're covering UK or you're covering other markets which are very, very similar in terms of the standards.
Okay.
Australia is okay. Even US, majority of customers are okay with CE unless they specially ask for the. So US has a UL.
They have a
test.
separate.
standard for UL.
Stands, yeah.
Okay.
But then they are okay with CE also. But again, it depends on customer. No, we need a UL only. Then you have to look into it. But otherwise, CE is majorly accepted everywhere at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
If something changes globally, then we don't know. But at the moment, is all okay. Australia, US, Europe, majority of the East Asia also. Korea, Japan has some differences, but again, it's very manageable.
Right.
Yeah.
So help me understand what these two products are. This is very interesting. It just looks like it's
so we-
recently unboxed.
Yeah, these are our new introductions.
Okay.
We are just this one robot is for a material movement. It can lift the items up to a ton
Okay.
and can take from a point A to point B along with the humans moving around. So it has a vision-based navigation, and it basically very efficiently work with the humans and move the items safely.
Okay.
And this is just the same version of in terms of technology, but this can do a forklift. So if you have any kind of pallets, it can pick the pallets very efficiently and put it around.
Okay. And what is the weight that this can pick up?
This robot can do up to 1.5 tons.
1.5 tons.
Yeah.
And the one that you all have developed, this one, the earlier one that you showed, that can lift up to how much?
Depends. So 15 to 20 kilograms if you're, let's say it depends on the dropping heights.
Okay.
So if the dropping height is lower, then it can go even 20-25 kilograms. Or let's say if you're dropping at a very high interval of let's say 2.4 meters or 2.1 meters, then somewhere around 10 kilograms, 8 to 10 kilograms.
But so we have this heavy immersion. That's as Pramod mentioned that we have 650 and 650 heavy. So this we have recently developed for our customer in Belgium. That robot, if you need to tune it for a very higher payload, so we can go up to 50 kgs also in that one.
Okay.
But it all depends on how much need is there. Really do you need to do work around it. But so at the moment in our industry, what Pramod mentioned is more than sufficient.
Most of the times the payload is below 6 kilograms. Like 99%
average items that you have in
e-commerce. Like e-commerce, retail items, generally they are below 6 kilograms. Yeah.
And the height that it has to travel, I mean, typically how?
This one can go maximum, it can be tuned to 2.4 meters roughly.
Okay.
Most of the deployments happen at around 2.1 meters for us.
Okay.
See, higher you go, you have to again reduce the payload. So you can go even higher, but it doesn't make sense because human also have to retrieve the parcel from the other side.
Right.
So they cannot reach that high.
Right.
So at 2.4 meter height, we have a slant. And if you see one of those trolleys or trays over there,
those trays
so
where you can
humans will
just
pick
drop
from
it
the
on
back
top.
and robots will put at the top. But if you see go further higher, you can't even reach to pick it up, right?
That's
so if it is a fully autonomous system, we can even tune to make it go 3 meters. But in the current requirement set that we have, we know that this is what a market needs and we are around that. But we can go much higher than that if needed. Even payload, even heights. But it has to make sense to the market.
Got it. Yeah. Got it. So this is the team that sits here.
That's a validation team.
Validation team.
Validation. So there are a lot of softwares, everything has to be required for every robot to run, right? So they basically assign resources to the right teams.
Okay.
I need this area, please give me this area. And they'll allocate that area, allocate the resource. This team will come and do the testing,
Okay.
etc. So in our sorting system, there are a bunch of products comes together to make a sorting system happen. So robot is one of the most important one. But we have robots, we have a barricading system, we have a binning system, which is again, you can add a lot of sensors to the bins, like parcel has come in, bin is full, door is open, you can all detect those things as well. It's completely designed in-house. We have a barricading system, just a small setup over here for our R&D team to test a few things. So what it does is it safely opens and closes the entry and exit door of the system, because as we know, robot goes very fast and there are no man zones. So whenever somebody needs to enter the system for maintenance or whatever, this barricaded controller ensures the safety. It ensures that all robots are at 0 velocity for sure. Then only a door will open and humans can enter in for the safety. So this is just completely designed in-house and it's indigenous thing.
So one of the questions I missed out on asking is, so there are like 50 robots, let's say.
Right.
Right? They operate, I mean, I don't know what the number is, but like maybe 20, 30, 50 robots in a single warehouse. Where do they go and dock themselves when they are not working, or there is never a moment when they are not working?
So it depends on customer to customer.
Okay.
Now one of the sites, as the largest site we mentioned in that's happening in Belgium, their customers is asked us to give us a dedicated area for the parking.
Okay.
So moment you say end of shift, robots will go and have their specialized parking zone. They'll go and park over there.
Okay.
And if they don't want to turn off the robots, robots will actively keep on rotating, going to the charging, coming on. So system is always on.
I see.
So there is an intermittent charging happening always. So within, let's say, if you have deployed 100 robots, you'll see certain robots charging themselves at the charging dock intermittently. So after a certain, let's say,
This opportunity
voltage
is
drop,
charging.
they will go to the charging dock, they will charge themselves for a few minutes and they will come back.
Okay.
And when they are charging, there is a compensatory quantity of robots to do their job. So because it's like you have certain robots outside, you need replacement robots. So whenever we sell the systems, we include the buffer to account for the charging time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long does it take typically to charge?
One full charge can be 45 minutes to 60 minutes. But
45 minutes.
Under an hour?
Under
an hour, but the robot do not really go for an entire hour. It generally goes for few minutes.
Few minutes.
So we have a lot of bands and algorithms around that also. It's called energy management
To
algorithm.
optimize
You ensure that your whole swarm has still a minimum energy that you need always. So your always system is running and giving the enough.
So there is never a moment where the battery has run out while it's working.
No.
It never happens. Interesting.
It never happens in an active system ever.
And what is the life of the battery typically?
So again, it depends on how long customer wants to use it. Is 1 shift, 2 shift, 3 shift, because that defines the charging cycle also. But we can easily get somewhere between 2.5 years to 4 years. It all depends on the climate, the usabilities, and even the model, because now the bigger models will drain faster than the smaller models.
Right.
So it has a varieties of those, but somewhere between 2.5 to 4 years is very realistic. And we have been monitoring our oldest site, and we are able to achieve that data.
Okay.
Achieve that requirement that we are looking at.
Okay.
In fact, hopefully in a year we will have a battery which will in the same form factor, we will have 40% more energy in it.
I see.
So we're working on it. Another 12 months, and I think.
And warehouse doesn't have a situation where the AC is out, right? I mean, there is always some kind of air conditioning happening in warehouses.
Not necessary.
No.
Okay.
It can be humid, it can be dusty.
It can be very hot also.
So thermal management must be an issue, right?
Yes.
With
It's
the
an
batteries.
issue.
So our batteries we allow to run at 2 degrees to 45 degrees. Anything outside this range, we don't take any ownership of. But battery has a lot of advanced engineering done. So we have a safety valve on it. Anything goes wrong, the valve goes off. We have a specific liquid which can melt in a certain temperatures. So it melts first rather than having the battery getting that heat.
Okay.
So a lot of things have been done. So we're able to comfortably do 2 degrees to 45 degrees.
Nice.
But then preferably somewhere between 20-25 degrees is a very optimal temperature for any energy systems.
Right.
You run in that system, you get a better output, better faster charging, you will get higher run times.
What about dust and sort of, other forms of pollution maybe? Do they reduce the life of the system, or is it the same?
No, so we have taken care of that. So there are certain, whatever we design in-house, all the electronic systems, it comes with a certain coating that dust and other things doesn't impact it.
Okay.
But in general, you should be keeping the systems clean. Otherwise, joints, etc. will basically, life will be shorter. Let's say we say 10 years will become in 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
But so we have an active maintenance plan for all the customers. So in every certain time interval, we get all things checked. Either we do it or customer themselves do it, or we have a partner who can do it.
We have the quarterly or let's say SOPs defined for the maintenance teams.
Okay.
Either it
The
can be
blower
done
is
by
there,
our
they
own
blow
maintenance-
everything up and all.
Either can be done by our own maintenance teams, or sometimes the customers also have their own dedicated maintenance teams, and we can just train them and they can use our parts, but the SOPs can be done by them.
Okay.
So it depends on the contract. Yeah.
That's
But our maintenance central team still controls it. Like, please do it. Like, when
Yeah,
customer
you
is
send
doing
them
it,
alerts or
We
something
monitor
like
the health
that.
of the robot remotely.
Yeah.
We know which robot is giving what issue,
Right.
battery health, and all those things are monitored remotely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is where all the magic happens.
Yeah, all the magic happens here.
Okay.
The tech people, the certain other functions also sit here, including the sales, the support functions, which remotely monitor the health of the robots.
Right.
So all of them sit here.
Okay.
And we have the electronics lab on the left side. So all the electronics R&D, the new development happens there in the lab. And the sales, or let's say the HR team, those people sit on the right, like the opposite end of the office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. This is more like the sales and support area.
Yeah.
or-
So this is mainly on the sales and HR
So
side.
we have HR, finance.
HR, finance.
Yeah.
Mostly functions
Admin.
are independent of the products.
Admin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So over there is all support. R&D is over there. Project team sits there as well.
So hi, Amay. Nice to
Rohit,
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So great. So I've heard a lot about you from both of them. Would love to know a little more.
So yeah, I mean, early days we were also part of the same team at Flipkart and also sharing the apartment. So when Shahid and Pramod had those conversations early on, I was fortunate to be a part of those and put my own small nuggets in, and feeling good about being a part of these early discussions.
Right.
And when the opportunity did come, I was excited to actually take the leap of faith and join the team at Unbox. Early days, mostly focusing on product, and a lot of my automotive experience also helped significantly contribute in the early journey of product development. A lot of the robot design is also inspired by automotive engineering.
Okay.
And definitely we all sort of have been acting like a sounding board in some sense in multiple decisions which are in some sense industry first. So we're also sort of helping each other in sort of building a very complex product and company together.
Yeah, that's amazing. So maybe we can start with a few intros. Pramod, if you can
Yeah.
go first.
So, I'm Pramod, founder and CEO of Unbox. We started in 2019. So before that, I used to work in Flipkart. My background was from manufacturing and engineering background. So, did my BTech in 2012. Worked for L&T for some time. I was very fascinated with the manufacturing side of the industry. So used to work in new product engineering, aerospace manufacturing back then. This was like 13 years back. I went to do my masters in Singapore. This is where I got more exposure to how startups work, how the technologies are are converted into commercial products. Through my university program, I was sent to Israel. I worked with a 3D printing company there. Worked very closely with the founders, and then we started working on some new ideas back then. Didn't work out back then. This was in 2015, 2016. So Flipkart was building an automation team in India back then. So it was a 5 to 7 people team. I was part of that. I joined Flipkart early 2016. My role was to deploy robotics and automation. So kind of on the other side of the table, looking at the best possible solutions for Flipkart supply chain and automating processes like packing, sorting, and we also had other projects as well, like other processes to automate. I was primarily focusing on sorting. Like sorting is happening for different reasons in supply chains. So I was given a task to look at new technologies, what's happening in the market, what's happening globally. Can we adopt that in India? So I was researching about the space somewhere around 2017, moving away from conveyors, not away, but moving beyond conveyors, like looking at technologies which are newer technology, like using mobile robots to do the same job in a very modular way. So somewhere around 2018, we finalized the vendor from China. We deployed this particular system in Flipkart, and that's where the trigger for Unbox started. As in, that's where I started thinking about, can we build something better? So I ended up meeting Shahid, who's my co-founder and CTO. He had a background in multi-robot system and swarm intelligence. Maybe Shahid can give his introduction later, but and we started, and then Rohit was sharing a flat with me around the same time. And Rohit was working with me alongside in Flipkart. He was focusing on electric vehicles, last mile supply chain, and also grocery warehouse automation. So, and plus he had a very good R&D background from manufacturing, like automobile industry, having worked in Bajaj in the past in the R&D team. So it was a very complementary skill set for all of us, as in each of us brought a very complementary skill set, which kind of accelerate the overall journey of Unbox, right from product development, sales, fundraise. We had right people attacking the problem statements. Maybe I'll let Rohit and Shahid talk about themselves as well.
Sure. But just to kind of, dive a little deeper into your background. So, just tell me a little bit about your childhood and, where you grew up.
Yeah.
Were you always in Pune or some other part of the...
I'm originally from Mumbai, so born and brought up in Mumbai. Till my engineering days, I was in Mumbai. So from 1990 to 2012, I was in Mumbai. I ended up, so I did my schooling, then typical like schooling, then science, and then you have engineering background. So I was, let's say, academically I was strong. Like I enjoyed my junior college and engineering more, I would say, as in from academics perspective, I scored more as I went from schooling to college or engineering.
He was the Sharma ji ka beta.
Not like in my school days, like I was like, of course, certain subjects I didn't really like as in history, geography, I didn't really like much. But I enjoyed science, maths, physics. So I used to score more there in mathematics. Engineering mathematics was one of my favorite subjects. And then started getting, let's say, fascination towards the production side, manufacturing side, physical goods, I would say. So I had always had that fascination towards those kind of products. That's how then I started showing those signs
Very
through
early
internships early on, through internships, working with L&T, working with their aerospace manufacturing team during my college days as an intern. So I interned for 6 months in aerospace department of L&T, which makes these rocket launcher for ISRO and Space Center, like Indian space organization. So that is the team behind making those rockets. So that was a very good exposure for me in early days.
Right.
And then I decided to move out.
Okay.
Yeah. And family, like my father and mother were from Mumbai, like as in not from originally Mumbai, but
Okay.
they moved to Mumbai. They were working in Mumbai.
Okay.
Now all of us are like either in Pune or our native place, Solapur. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting.
And now, of course, I have other family members like wife and 2 kids now.
Right.
All of us are in Pune now.
Okay. How old are the kids?
First one is 7, almost 7 now.
Okay.
And the second one is about 19 months.
Oh, really
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
A baby.
So the first one is interestingly almost equal to my
that's
like
what I'm
unboxer
about to
age.
say, like,
Okay.
the other time he's like,
Yeah.
we were doing it, no? I got a baby girl. I said, okay, then run and go. Okay, I need to go.
So I was like, it was a sudden
He was
news
just
because
working
it was
on
a
something that time.
it was
Yeah.
a premature baby. So
Okay.
I and Shahid
Yeah,
were working
actually.
on something.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was not supposed to happen on that day. It was like
Okay.
supposed to happen in April 2019.
Right.
And suddenly I got a call and that like, okay, it's happening today. Then I was in Bangalore and my wife was in Baramati.
Right.
So I had to fly from Bangalore to Pune and then went to.
How did you manage to like build a company or like start a company at the same time as?
It was very
You know,
interesting discussion at
having a
home. Wife supported me a lot during
Right.
that time. So I put down, as in I quit my job when, like, so on 5th of March, my first daughter was born.
Mhm.
And on 9th March or something, I resigned.
Okay.
So it was very interesting discussion at home that parents were like reluctant to say yes, as in they were like, don't quit right now. You can do it later.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, this is the time.
This is the time to
Yeah,
do it.
this is the time to do it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Shahid, what about you?
Okay, I'm from Kutch, Gujarat. Born and brought up there. My junior college I did from Rajkot because in my hometown there's nothing much in education. There's 1 or 2 schools and not that great. So you usually go out when you want to do higher education. So I did a junior college in Rajkot. I did my undergraduation in computer science in Ahmedabad. Then I moved for my master's in autonomous robotics systems in UK. I was in Yorkshire for a while under Professor John Timmis.
Okay.
So after that, I started a company with my classmate. So we moved back to India. I think moment I got my graduation, I moved back to India. I was in Bangalore. So I was there for 3-4 years. We were working on a loosely coupled IoT system and agri-tech to some extent. But it didn't work out for me, so I left. I said, you keep the 100%, I will do something else. Around the same time, I joined EF. And there was initial introductory meeting in EF for the folks. And since that time, I started working with Pramod. We started exploring more and more what problem statement makes sense. And I think we zeroed down to sorting from his experience. That's a place is not very crowded and we should do some innovation there. And then I understood the problem a bit more. We worked on it. We formed the solution that we have right now. Then we went to different customers with the paper, Pramod and me, that this is what we want to build, this is what it is, you think it's good or not. Right. And that's how we got initial LOIs, etc. And those all built together, we got initial funding from EF and SOSV. Okay. And since then, we have been growing step by step. We were in Bangalore for a while, moved to China. Then we decided, okay, we want to come back to India because China is not making too much sense for robot at least, because the manufacturing is very straightforward. कोई complex manufacturing नहीं है, right? Automotive है तो हो जाएगा. So there is no point of being in China for a long time. We said, where should we come back to India? So we zeroed down to Pune because Rohit wanted to be in Pune.
Okay. So you were the reason why.
No. Here's an internal joke. Right now,
okay.
Anyway, so Pramod had made sense. He is from Mumbai. It made sense for him. For me also, it's a bit more closer from my hometown.
That's right.
Compared to Bangalore. Maybe
Parents are still there?
They are still there. My dad has a business. He has a wholesale ready-made clothing business.
Okay.
He's been doing that since 30 years. Okay. He's there. I have a sister, older sister. She stays there.
Okay.
So I'm here with my wife and my son.
Okay.
And they visit alternatively.
And you never had a thought to, go abroad or stay abroad after your education?
No, we never had. Like, I wanted to. So I have a very simple philosophy that if I want to stay somewhere, on will my parents should be able to travel when they want to. उसके लिए पैसे लगते हैं. So why being there doing the normal job will not reach me there, right?
Correct.
So we'll do something and we'll come back to India. It's okay. Yeah, Rohit.
What about you, Rohit?
Yeah, so born and brought up in Pune, and loved the city and sort of did my engineering also over here in mechanical, and afterwards joined one of the larger automotive companies not too far from here. And there I got exposed to the world of R&D, design, simulations, and a lot of that definitely was, and also worked with a very fabulous team, because back then automotive R&D was restricted to a few companies, and you being at the core of it, at the center of it, was definitely very enriching as an experience. So I learned a lot in 6 years I was there, and then moved out. I had two choices: either go outside for continuing and building an expertise in automotive itself, but then again, similar constraints of sort of continuing back here itself suggested that I rather do an MBA. So I then went to ISB, and a year later, I was in Flipkart with Pramod, and more or less part of the early ecosystem of e-commerce as a whole, even globally for that matter. And at Flipkart, we got exposed to all the different technologies, including automation in facilities, IoT across different elements of the supply chain, RFID technologies. And I was coming from an automotive background, I was also working on enabling electric vehicles in our fleet.
Okay.
So that definitely was a very sort of bustling ecosystem where we are getting to not only amongst ourselves build a lot of new concepts and ideas, but also go out, talk to vendors across the country and see what they are building. Can they build something which we are imagining? And we ended up, both of us ended up even presenting different research papers on what we are working on outside India in certain journals. And the recognition we received told us that it's not only Flipkart or India who's solving these problems, the same problems exist outside. And this was early 2016, 2017 times. So that sort of put us on a path of, innovating in general and understanding problem first and then solution later approach, which generally is difficult to get otherwise. But with being in the customer side, you realize, okay, what the problems look like first, then how do you approach and build the right tech around it.
Right.
So around 2018-19 is when we also sort of started working on the same systems around robotics. He was working in sorting space, I was working on grocery automation. And that's when we also started sharing the apartment. And the ideas definitely were amazing that, you can't stop yourself from wanting to be a part of it. So when they did take a decision to move back from China again, that's when I sort of took the leap, joined them. First office was being built in Pune, so very exciting for me to, be in my hometown and then again sort of contribute. And then back then we were not sure. I was not sure because I just tasted robotics, but not really spent a lot of time building things. Most of my experience was automotive, so I was not certain. So it was a very honest conversation with them that let's see where we land after a year, and then we'll decide whether we want to continue that way or not. Right. But within the first few months itself, it was like fish in water. I realized that there are real problems which I could, take inspiration from my earlier learnings, including automotive engineering, MBA learnings, as well as learnings at supply chain design and Flipkart. So all of these things definitely sort of paved the way for, contributing significantly in the first few months. And we also ended up having a very solid team early on, the best of folks, the first 20, 30 people, 40 people. It was an amazing atmosphere in a very small setup, which was actually earlier in Amazon last mile delivery hub where we had set up the first office.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it was like a parking lot.
Oh, parking lot, yeah. And that became our 3,000 square feet small office where everybody is just having crazy times and sort of everybody knows each other so well, and it's a very lively atmosphere. And a lot got covered in the first couple of years that we knew we are solving something very big.
Right.
Yeah.
So you all started the company through EF,
Yeah,
Entrepreneur First,
Yeah.
and then you joined them
Yeah.
a few months later.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So about
Interesting.
November 2019,
2019.
we started the EF program around Jan 2019.
Okay.
So first 3-4 months was like ideation and then validation of that idea after talking to the customer.
Right.
We got the pre-seed funding in about April, May, like offer from EF.
Right.
And then we formally registered the company in May 2019.
Right.
So, and then we started assembling the team. So we had like 2 engineers, Sakit and Nidhi, they are still with us, and then 1 consultant. So 5 of us, I, Shahid and those 3 people,
Okay.
we had gone to Shenzhen
Okay.
as part of one program called HACS, which is like a accelerator program
Right.
for hardware
hardware
startups.
accelerator,
Hardware
right?
accelerator, one of the best, I would say.
So,
in the
so
world.
our earlier round was a joint round between SOSV and EF both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a joint pre-seed round.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So EF and SOSV had jointly funded
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
SOSV runs the HACS program.
Yes. Yes.
So that was in China at that time.
Okay.
They also have a program in US now. So we had gone through that program, and around the same time, we were also, Rohit was also part of the discussions.
Okay.
So formally he was not part of the team earlier, but then he got convinced later
Okay.
to join us. Yeah, yeah.
So what convinced you?
I mean, one thing for sure, I had personal emergency to deal with in Pune, so I was always looking to move back to Pune, and that was one of the turning points, definitely. Otherwise, informally, I was already the first few people they were actually recruiting. I was also part of the interview, just helping out in whatever ways I could because it was fun. And Pramod had that instinct of working on entrepreneurship even before Unbox and before EF.
Right.
And even when we were at Flipkart, we would just block a meeting room and we would discuss ideas on what he could do, what are the new gaps to fill.
Right.
So it was always fun, and being in Bangalore, that bug bites you. You want to work on
Yeah, that's right.
good
yeah.
ideas, and you want to sort of, and especially even in Flipkart, that environment was very active, very lively, very intelligent people you're surrounded by.
Right. Yeah.
So you want to try things.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I had officially taken a 3 months kind of a break, telling my boss in Flipkart that I
That you
want to start.
explore this?
I
Yeah,
want to
wow.
explore this, and they will support you.
You're
on
okay
that.
with that?
They were okay with that.
In fact, the company gives you sabbaticals for
Yeah, to try out new things.
That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
So we met in 2019.
yeah.
I don't remember the month, but
Maybe towards late 2019, maybe November or December, maybe.
yeah. And at that point, I think you all had a prototype,
Yeah,
which was somewhere in China,
yeah.
right? That was the time. So if you just reflect back, what has changed since then, right, for you in terms of a company, right? I mean,
I think the philosophy is still the same.
Okay.
We have been at it like, so we are always solving the problem statement in real time. So currently, let's say whatever the problem we are solving, back then it was about getting the product right and getting the customers interested in our product. So the product was not ready.
yeah,
So they should be excited enough to support us throughout our R&D journey, because it's not something you can build in 3 months and then you start selling.
right,
So we had to get the investors interested in a long journey. It's like a 3-year journey of no revenue. So how do you get people excited and still, let's say, support you from funding rounds to even customers showing interest and waiting for that period
right,
to get the trials done. So we started showing the concepts to customers in 2019 just on paper, like some simple 3D design, some simple math on, okay, you'll need these many robots, you'll need these many people, this is the savings you'll do. So on that basis, we got the customers interested.
Okay,
Actual deployment started happening 2-3 years down the line.
okay,
But till then, our job was to keep them motivated and interested to work with us and closely work with us and give us the feedback.
Yeah.
Because this is not something you can build in isolation and like suddenly you drop it to the warehouse.
right, right, right.
So you have to get the customer involved for that real-time feedback, because it's so expensive R&D.
Right.
You can't like spend 6 months of R&D and then suddenly realize that, okay, I didn't think about this.
Right.
So we have to keep the customer engaged on actual updates, frequent updates, and they get the investors interested as well, that okay, what we are building is actually going to be deployed and actually valuable to the end customer. So I think we kept solving the problems every quarter, every 6 months. We had all ups and downs. COVID lockdown was there. Right after the seed round, the first lockdown started.
Right.
So we were not able to work from office for quite some time. We focused on design and the things which we could do it from home.
Right.
And then we had to do some special permissions to do the trials with one of the customers in Pune. Almost all of our team members were COVID positive at some point.
But I think in that scenario, we didn't let go any of the team. We continued the team zeal as is.
Yeah.
We'll have a good time come at some point. I think that commitment from us also and from the team that kind of built the company so far. I think in COVID time, I think it would take 6-7 months, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just what to do, teams are, we'll continue. We'll like reduce our salaries, but we want to continue. It's okay. So things will go at some point. But in that, because of that kind of philosophy, team also was fully committed to be able to do it.
Idea did not change, as in the way we wanted to build the system did not change over 7 years. Of course, the looks of the robots have been matured. Like now, the robot looks much more polished, much more global product, I would say.
Correct.
Compared to our China version in 2019.
Right.
But the way we are solving the problem is it's quite same. As in the promise which we had given to the customer in 2019 on paper, more or less we are there. Like we are almost doing the same job.
Same thing. Okay.
But now at scale, like we are now looking at deploying hundreds of robots in one warehouse.
So engineering and product point of view, it was always in the very beginning, we need to prove that, this concept physically works. So we just need something to move and throw the robot, right?
Right.
Then it was reliability. Then it was durability. Now it is prove it at scale, repeat that at scale. So that's how our engineering philosophy is matured based on that, right? So whatever we took a decision, okay, what next we should do on the product, it all was in that segment, right? So first you just need to get something out so customer sees it, that something like this works.
Right.
Then make it reliable, then make it durable, long-term reliable.
Yeah.
And now you need to repeat the same thing again and again and again at a larger and larger scales, right? We went from 10 robot fleet to 150 robot fleet and hopefully 300 robot fleet very soon.
Wow.
So that comes with its own challenges, right? So our scale has been like that.
And how long did it take you to get to the first paying customer from the time that you started building?
About 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
So you had to keep the customer interested until then.
Yeah.
But COVID came right in between 1 year. So anyways, it was
So even if you take a year out, it is still at least 2 years.
Still 2 years, because the product was not something which, like, we are buying from someone else and we are putting a software on top or some small add-on on that. It was a complete
solution, right? As I mentioned, robot is there. There is a barricading system. There is a billing system. The software stack, we write a software on a controller to the server level, and even on the cloud, because a lot of data has to go there too. So the whole pipeline has to work to make that whole system make sense to the customer.
So it's like you're selling a dinosaur, not like a small animal.
And nobody's done that before. So we didn't have anything to look at and that saved a lot of our engineering time. We had to do it from scratch.
In India,
First of its kind elements were there. That's why it took time.
I see.
A lot of things were new, as in the whole concept was new. So the
engineering point of view, I can give an example. So if you see the nature of a robot, right, it goes very fast, but it has a lift. So we have just hardly 100 mm space at the bottom, and I need the battery of 1 kilowatt in that. I don't have anything in the market. What should I do? I didn't have choice but to really go into it and make the damn thing.
Right.
So that's just one example I can give. The same thing, I think, is suspension system. Suspension system that right? Like we have to make it so compact. So from his background on automotive, that helps. We have a very compact, very interesting suspension system in our robot today. So each of these things, we realize, okay, we really want to make it reliable, want to make it something that will make sense. A lot of things we have to do indigenously. It will take some time, but we took the bet. It's okay, but we'll launch maybe 6 months later. We'll launch it right.
A funny thing happened every 3 months or so we had a new prototype coming out. And we had the V2, then the V3, then the V4. The funny thing is, every time the lift gets one more level. So V2 had 2 levels, V3 had 3 levels.
No, but it gets more levels and the base becomes smaller.
Base becomes small.
So the delta got
the more you become smaller, you have more tighter, faster speed.
Plus the robot became lighter as well, almost by 15 kilograms.
So the first prototype was 120 kgs.
Right.
Then the latest one is 60 kg. So in some sense, we were learning as we were building.
Right.
That what would make sense for the customer.
Right.
And fortunately, we had the right early customers who were patient. They allowed us to test. They would come and give us feedback very often. And then with this continuous to and fro, we were able to actually improve faster.
Wow.
In a time where we are not out of money.
Right.
And we have closed the loop where the early customer, the person who was interacting with us, she has joined us now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So she is doing engineering management for us now.
Okay. Wow.
So she was our first officially paying customer. Now she is part of Unbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first paying customer was Indian customer.
Yeah. It was Indian.
Okay.
So we had 3 Indian and 1 European customer when we started doing the pilots and trials in 2022.
Okay.
So 2022 we launched this with 3 customers in India. 1 e-commerce and 2 3PL, like logistics companies. And then one of the European fashion retailers reached out to us around the same time. And we ended up deploying first commercial order in Europe almost around like October 23, around Black Friday. So that was our first order in Europe, and that became like a first of many now. Like so, that gave us the good reference site, and the customer really loved the product.
Right.
So they kept adding more robots in the same warehouse, and then now we have 2 warehouses with them, and 2 more are expected to go live soon. Yeah.
And so, just from a B2B founder's perspective, when you start a startup in India, your first initial customers are always going to be Indian because you're based here. But soon enough, you realize that at some point, you might have to look at customers abroad.
Yeah.
So, what is that point at which you kind of make that flip, or is there no ideal formula for that?
I think you should fail enough times before going outside. So you should do all the testing, ideally locally, I would say,
Okay.
because failing in a foreign land is very expensive and time consuming. So it's better you roll out your beta versions with the local customer who supports you, and of course he also gets something in return. And test it enough number of times. Do all the compliance paperwork, like certifications. For example, for us, it's CE certification for one of the region, like European regions, and then roll it out in that market.
Right.
And of course, you can always keep them updated on the product and the concept, but enter at the right time rather than prematurely in a foreign land. Like, but you can always do this testing and all with the initial set
The
of
initial.
customers
So, the
in the local
experimentation should be done.
market. Yeah.
And foreign, it depends on which region you are looking at, but then again the compliance needs are very different. So that also takes its own time. So you better have your bare minimum built, run it over here and then improve on it and then have a compliant product that can really go.
Especially if it's a hardware product.
Especially if
especially
it's
as
a hardware product, because even one iteration can take you like 6-8 months.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's very expensive to fail in, let's say, Europe, like Germany or Spain, and then realizing that, okay, I shouldn't have used this motor or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
And how long does a POC take typically for you?
The duration of POC
Yeah.
can be 1 month to 6 months,
6
depending
months,
on
okay.
the customer.
Okay.
Yeah. But it again depends on the kind of product. So for us, it was a group of robots has to be there. It cannot be like one robot POC.
Right.
It should be like 10, 20 robots running together. That's when the system is proven.
Right.
So that's why a lot of things need to be prepared, like robots, the barricades, the feeding stations, the chargers,
Yeah.
integration with the customer's WMS.
Right.
All those need to happen synchronously and properly.
And that's why it takes time.
That's why it takes time.
And as you mentioned, the customer integration and the process, that's very important for you to understand, right? And why customer is doing this.
Right.
In B2B, I think that probably is the ingredient, I guess, very important one.
Yeah. So even if you are testing locally, you still have to go through certain level of internal testing. Like you cannot really test directly on a customer premises because they also have production live environment. You cannot disrupt their environment. So like certain let's say level of testing has to be, validation and testing has to be done at your end.
Right.
And maybe you can invite the customer, get their packages, get their samples, do the real-time testing in your own lab or test environment, and then once they approve it, you can integrate within their real, like actual warehouse.
Right.
So that's how we also did it.
And conventional thinking will tell you that maybe you start with the mid-tier or small-tier companies and then go gradually up to the bigger giants. But very often it's ironic that the larger giants have teams which are specifically focusing on new innovations, and their interests are aligned with your interests, that they also wanted to be successful and create new technologies within their ecosystem, which we were doing when we were at Flipkart.
Okay.
We were trying new technologies and we were expecting vendors to build it for us.
Right.
So if you find such a team who's willing to sort of support you in that build journey because it's also aligned with their interests, nothing like it.
Right. Did you have to do any free pilots?
Initially.
Once, I think once.
Once you had to do it.
Yeah, not many times. Most of the pilots were paid pilots.
And is that because it's hardware or is it?
As
Do you-
in why we should do paid?
No, as in like, there are, for example, customers who say that the pilot should be free, and then once the pilot is successful, then we'll do a commercial contract.
Yeah.
But because it's a hardware
Yeah.
startup,
It takes.
do you think the customers are more open to paying for a pilot than if it's software only?
Not just because of hardware. So I think in general, we are also putting in efforts to build that product with them.
Right.
And it is also giving some output. So it's not something that we are processing their packages and they are going in some dummy trolleys. Like, so actually we are adding value to their operation
So
for
they can
1
see
month
that
or 2
happening.
months. So they can see the output.
Yeah.
So they can simply pay for the output.
Right.
Maybe they will not pay for the entire robot price, but they can pay for maybe 1 or 2 months worth of value add done by that system.
Right.
So maybe based on number of packages or based on number of robots deployed. Yeah.
What is the real use case for a warehouse or a retailer to actually adopt a robot as compared to keeping a human doing the same job?
So every warehouse will have a bunch of processes. So right from unloading, loading, storage and retrieval, then you have picking, then you have consolidation or sorting of items. Those are picked up from the inventory area. Then packing, then you have general purpose movement happening across the warehouse. Then the same packaged item again is getting sorted out for maybe different regions or stores. And same package is again getting loaded onto the truck or a vehicle. So you'll have a bunch of processes. Every process has some kind of a use case. You may not have a same robot doing all the activities, but you will have a specific, let's say, specific robots built or specific machines built for each process. Currently, the industry is highly underpenetrated, like about 20% to 30% penetration in the Western market, and maybe about 5 to 10% in India, or less than that. Like in Asia, let's say it will be like less than 20%. So there is a huge amount of quantities of warehouses that is still manual. So people have not done much automation. Maybe they have put in some conveyors, basic digitization, but not really actually, let's say, high number of robots or highly, like let's say high penetration of robots deployed in the warehouses.
Right.
So each process has its own problems. The manual processes are of course beyond a point. You cannot do much higher number of throughput, right? So for example, in sorting, a human cannot do maybe more than 100 or 200 packages in an hour. In a very optimized environment with let's say some of the larger companies where they have a lot of process optimization, they hit a threshold, like they hit a saturation point beyond which you cannot do much more. So they will have to go for automation to increase their output per person.
Right.
So they have to come to companies like us, like Unbox, to automate their sorting process.
Essentially reducing the walking of the people. So now they are sort of dependent on only sort of looking at the package, figuring out what to do with it, scanning it, placing it. The robots will do the rest of it, for example. We are trying to sort of ease it out, the operations, and build consistency in a manner that is sustainable, especially when warehouses become large. So entry level, nobody wants to sort of start with automation, but at a certain scale they do. And now it also enables them to go for night operations, especially now you're doing morning deliveries.
Right.
So most of the operations in a facility are happening at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Now it's inhuman to expect people to come that time and do strenuous work. So now automation allows you to sort of operate in those hours where it's most critical for the next day's deliveries to happen on time and consistently meeting the customer's promise, which is the biggest element today.
So your biggest customer segment is retail, is that right?
Both actually.
So e-commerce,
E-commerce, retail,
So e-commerce and retail, we can club it
Under
one umbrella.
one umbrella.
and then logistics.
And then logistics.
And a lot of
companies.
times logistics players are working for retailers. So
Got it. It's the same industry.
The other element would be courier, express, postal services. That's the
Yeah.
other element where our solution is
yeah,
after retail.
parcel
that's the
deliveries.
solution.
Yeah.
So what happens with all these dark stores that are coming up? I mean, there are thousands of them in India now that have been set up, right, by all these quick commerce companies. So is there robotics out there as well?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's a very difficult problem to solve.
Okay.
A lot of companies, it's become like a holy grail in some sense. People want to solve it such that this becomes the scalable model across the globe. Incidentally, India has picked it up first as a problem to solve from a manual perspective.
Yeah.
And a lot of these leaders are now also reaching out for automating these processes.
Okay.
The challenges are multiple. One is in a very compact space you have to do it. It's an urban real estate. In a very sort of you're promising a very short span of order closure. Literally within 60 to 90 seconds you have to have the order out of the facility.
Right.
And now you're sort of dealing with 16,000, 17,000, sometimes 20,000 SKUs. Sometimes it's like a frozen or a chilled item. Sometimes it's they're starting cafes, and also a lot of these elements, the versatility, the compactness, as well as the time frame in which you're doing it, the speed in which you're doing it, are unique problems which, with a single solution to solve it, requires enough innovation to be happening. I'm sure there are a good amount of people working on this.
So experiments are going on. Are you guys working on anything?
We have recently filed a patent for.
Okay.
But our philosophy is like full automation, maybe not viable in terms of financials of our customers. But we're looking at enhancing the throughput of a picker or of a person who is actually fulfilling the order.
Right.
So with that philosophy, we have designed the solution.
Okay.
And we have recently filed a patent for that. But going forward, we'll be now pitching to the customers and see if this really makes sense before entering into the actual engineering.
This design would be different, right, from the one that
very
we
different.
Yeah, very
have.
different. Yeah. We are working on a couple of new concepts which are very different than what the market is doing or what even we are doing.
Yeah.
For the picking, and one product is also on sorting side.
Right.
So couple of very, very fundamentally new concepts we are working on.
Got it.
So hopefully they do the same magic like what we have done in the past.
One thing is common, it's always a problem first approach,
Right.
rather than force fitting something which you've already built.
And so, for an aspiring founder who wants to start a robotic startup in India, what are some of the things that you will advise in terms of how to pitch to an investor, how to raise money, and what kind of fundraising journey typically it takes for a founder to get, or a startup to reach a certain point?
I think first of all they need to understand the customer very well, like internal processes, hierarchy, the decision makers, how they think, what triggers the decision, what triggers yes or no. All those nuances they need to understand, the actual pain points. And then that can be translated to, like, all the pain points can be translated to the product development. So if you understand the customer very well, you will be able to convince the investors very well.
Okay.
And then as you show the progress and you have the patience to stay in a long game, it's not a 1 or 2 years game, it's a 5-10 years journey.
Yeah.
Or maybe more. So people will show you trust, like they will have trust in you as you start showing momentum or progress, working closely with the customers.
Right.
So, and then of course investors need to know whether the team is right, is it the right team, whether they know the customer well, whether they can build the product, whether they can deal with the technology element early on.
Right.
And then with the initial customer success, you start showing, like, you start de-risking certain element, like you have proven the tech, you have some early success with customers, and then the next risk part is like, can this team scale, as in can they deploy at scale, can they go international, can they beat the other large competitors in foreign markets. So you have to just keep solving those problems at that particular time, and then the investors.
And is it necessary to find investors who understand robotics, or one could go to any investor that invests in B2B in general?
It's better to have the alignment, as in it can be any investor, but they need to be aligned on how long it will take
Right.
to commercialize the product. They should be okay with that journey.
Okay.
They may not expect the revenues in the first year or second year as well.
Right.
So they need to be patient enough, I would say. Yeah.
I think sector agnostic and investors who understand deep tech to some extent, they know that revenues are not immediate, but the IP creation is important, right? So people who are just focused on revenues might not be a right fit for this kind of investments.
Okay.
But you know that there's IP
the
creation
beginning.
happening over a period of time.
Right.
That is where the real value will get created, right? And that will come from the conviction on the founders, because if they can do it or not do it.
How long did it take you all to start making money?
Making money was about 3 years down the
3
line.
years
Yeah.
from start.
Actual decent revenue started, like decent as in still a small revenue, but it was, I think, 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like this, then this, and it's like this. So,
Yeah.
but then that patience is
Yeah.
But
required.
from that year to, let's say, this year, it's almost like 15x for us.
Okay.
So from, let's say, last to last year, whatever revenue we made, we are almost going to do about 15 times of that.
Okay. So there's suddenly this.
Then there is a sudden
uplift.
jump because then
Okay.
all this while you are like flat.
Yeah.
You are still working with customers, pilots. Paid pilots will not give much revenue. But then once you kind of crack it, then suddenly you get some large contracts or maybe some medium-sized contracts, and you start getting like a hockey stick growth.
So B2B is like that, right? Like customers will not trust you with large orders immediately because it's also their business. So they will try something out. They'll start with like a good example is Flipkart Group, right? We had a small pilot with them. Then we had I think one small project with them. Now we have more than 150, 200 robots with them. So it's B2B. They need to build enough trust with us so that we can do it. We can supply it reliable. है नहीं है? Can we do after services? Are we able to supply the quantity that they need? So they have to look at a lot of things, right? Before trusting the.
So the first
Once trust
customer
is there, then
very, first customer is very hard and very
Right.
important. Like so
Right.
when you have a real product deployed in like actual site, you have a case study,
Yeah.
and you can get some other customers visit that site. That's when things get.
Would that be enough to raise like a seed round or a
That is much more than enough. I would say.
more than enough?
Yeah.
Maybe like up to $1 million can you raise
Yeah.
on
I
one
think
serious customer?
One serious and maybe few more waiting.
Few more
or
waiting
some showing
or some pilots.
interest. Yeah.
But you need to have some product, right? Because by seed we had something to show that we have something.
Right.
So pre-seed probably you have nothing, but by seed you need to have something moving, something.
We had
showing that
LOIs.
it makes sense.
We had LOIs and few LOIs and then prototype.
Yeah, prototype is important. I mean, LOI is 100% important. I'm saying it along with the prototype because if you don't show anything about say customer, it will be sense नहीं बनेगा.
Looking back, would you do anything differently? I mean, whether it comes to building your company, raising money, any big strategic blunders?
Not blunders, I would say, but
And there'll be a lot, but I mean,
Okay.
I mean, but,
This is why I said big.
but
there
I
will
would
be some
put it
small
like
mistakes, maybe some wrong hiring decisions,
Okay.
or maybe we could have done certain times maybe inventory planning better. Maybe when the COVID was there,
Yeah.
because in COVID times there was a panic mode, so we.
you have to procure a lot
That
of
was
things.
out of your control, right? I mean, that whole
was out-
situation.
out of our control. So
But things
technically,
that
yeah.
were in your control that probably you went wrong with.
Yeah, very often he mentioned hiring, and that's a very significant part of the early journey, especially because investors are counting on the early team. Beyond the founders also, they are looking at what kind of a team is supporting the whole vision.
Sure.
So you need that taken care of. You need to also not only be good at hiring, but also be good at timing the hiring, because you can start spending a lot if you hire a sales guy too early, but you don't have anything to sell, for example, So then early on, Pramod himself or we, sometimes we are building the marketing literature ourselves and we're posting it on LinkedIn ourselves. So they, a lot of the hands-on groundwork where you have to allocate your time is and where you don't choose to allocate your time. Again, it's a hiring decision in some sense. So that sort of helps you in controlling the burn.
More technical hiring, you would say, or
Heavily, because that was one of the critical things which
Early
went
stage,
well for
our
us.
majority of team was technical, right? So our early team members, if you find any of them, all are technical. All early team members.
So
right?
we
And
did
all
not have
are-
any sales guy.
So that was a strategic decision. There's no point, right? Like
In first
क्या
3 years,
बेचोगे?
I don't think we had any sales guy.
yeah.
Almost 3 years, yeah. We had one guy in 2022. Yeah, it was just one person and then two. So it was always like a very small sales team. It was me and then 1 or 2 people
Yeah.
in the early days of sales
Right.
till we reached certain, let's say, level.
Yeah.
And then of course Rohit also transitioned from the product person to the sales person, I would say.
see, I think that first 10 or 15 team members, who they are is a different problem. You can hire better, but what they are hired for, if that is tracked correctly, then probably the journey is much better.
Okay.
Because when we started, like, should I hire a mechanical engineer first? Should I hire an electrical engineer first? Should I hire none of them? Should I hire a sales first? That was a big problem for me. So I went ahead and started reaching out to any robotics companies I know in India. Koi to baat karo mujhse. And I'll talk and I'll understand what their team look like and try to gauge some information out there, then try to strategize our journey. Because that's very important, right? Because what you know you can't do and what you need it now, ये दोनों का mixture होना जरूरी है ना.
Right.
Like, I can't do sales, but you need it now. And you'll hire some sales guy and he's sitting and probably just maybe not adding immediate value, but you need somebody who can do a good product engineering work right now.
So our plan was to reach a certain scale ourselves in terms of sales and then hire someone.
Right.
For the longest of period, we didn't have a HR senior person also. We were literally borrowing policies from our past companies. Okay, it's the company that policy low, the processes, everything was being borrowed so that we can just run the show enough. Then we hit a certain scale, then the right guy comes in and takes charge.
I think we don't have a head of marketing. Now probably we'll have it. But we thought that is not immediately.
Yeah, we didn't have any.
Whatever we can
head.
serve, utna traction aa raha hai. Uske beyond, we'll have a right person,
So,
right time.
with a very small 3-4 people team, the kind of revenue scale we have done, it's like hardly like 3-5 people. Only one guy in Europe, and small team in India.
And Rohit and I think Chetan is there with us in the sales,
2
and a
people,
few solution team, and that's it.
Yeah.
So as you scale up, I guess you have to hire in places where you don't have expertise between
Of course, yeah.
right? So how do you handle that situation when, let's say, the marketing guy comes and pitches an idea to you, and you've not, let's say, handled marketing ever. So how do you decide as a founder?
We are
That's a
more than
good
happy
idea
to
or not?
listen because we know that we are not good at marketing.
Yeah, but after listening, how do you decide?
So it's the other way around actually.
That's
we do
difficult
enough
discussion.
research
Yeah.
before we pick the right guy.
Okay.
In marketing, enough experts in the market have vetted that yes, or we, if we are capable, we know that this guy is a good guy. The first few months of it, we know that we can count on him to take a better decision than us, if it's possible. And then it becomes a little more easy for us to just count on what he's suggesting and maybe add just a little bit of our own flavor,
Right.
if it comes to that. But fortunately, our background has been so diverse that we've been able to sort of be able to evaluate the concept that we were never weak at any particular vertical as a whole because all three have a diverse
We had to
experience.
work on multiple functions across last 6-7
Right.
years.
So you're comfortable in kind of,
Yeah, like we have looked at
going into
finance,
other-
marketing, sales, HR, legal.
But I just to understand,
That's
you are
all
trying
it
to. I think what you're trying to ask was how do we resolve the conflicts? If
There could be a
somebody comes
conflict,
in and there's yes,
like if you hire a very senior person, that person would obviously come with this authority on that subject.
right.
And would want to be left alone to take decisions. So how do you,
I
and
think
if you don't agree with what that person is saying, then how do you resolve that conflict?
There's one important element I would like to highlight here that you also generally would prefer having some set of advisors who have been there, done that, to tell you that maybe you're going to go wrong here, maybe you're going to do this, and they've already done it. They've probably burned their hands doing the same thing or similar things. So initially, we didn't necessarily have that kind of ecosystem, but when we did, we realized that a lot of mistakes and a lot of cash burn can be saved if you have experts advising you as mentors or coaches or just friends, like they're just telling you, okay, you know what, this might make sense for you guys.
Right.
This is how you need to think.
Yeah.
And that investors end up doing it for us very often. They also advise us about it. And it's just that you need to have somebody who has a sounding board who can sort of avoid a lot of the mistakes which may cost you a lot of money and time.
Also depends on the level of intensity or level of engagement from the advisor also matters.
That matters.
Right.
It cannot be like a superficial advice, like from 30,000 feet view. It doesn't really help you
Yeah.
in actually solving the problem.
So that
It might sound good in that call, but you may not really get the actual output.
if you could have got a right marriage, probably you could have done a much better job. But right marriage did not happen.
Yeah.
That's a good signal where that person is not really talking at the
So he
top
might be
level.
great
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
in his own industry.
Yeah.
He might be giving a very good advice, but that might be at a 30,000 feet view and you're really solving something at the ground.
Right.
So you can listen to him, it sounds good on call, but
disconnect.
if there is a disconnect, the reality,
Correct.
so the level of engagement, the frequency with which you talk to him,
Right.
the level of understanding of ground reality from his side
Yeah.
about the company, the team members, so all that matters. Yeah.
So I want to just cover 2 or 3 more topics and then we'll close. So one is on investor management. Any thoughts on that? I mean, how do you do that?
So
Now, obviously, like you've
Yeah.
also raised a very
Yeah.
recent round of
Yeah.
240
million, 240 CR. Yeah.
240 CR. So that's significant. So I'm sure a lot of investors in the cap table. Any thoughts on how you manage them?
So what we have is like there is a personal relationship now I have with almost like all investors, including the angels, the institutional funds.
Right.
Over the years, we have been giving regular updates. We have been transparent, like in terms of giving updates, ups and downs. And fortunately, we have good investors who understand this, the journey of Unbox over the years. And we have a certain cadence, like we keep giving monthly updates, MIS. We have bi-monthly calls with investors. Then we will be having like quarterly board meetings. So there is a regular cadence with investors where they can also help us by us giving updates about the company milestones, and there are right set of questions and answers in those discussions. And those questions also give you some input, like because you need someone to ask questions, you need someone to oppose you as well. So I think investors do that job pretty well. And then they also help you with the subsequent rounds, industry connects, or maybe even from hiring perspective, they help us a lot as well. Sharing CVs or resumes, or let's say helping us on the senior roles. So I think overall it has been a very close relationships we have built with the investors over the years.
Are there opinions that they might have that you don't agree with, and how do you resolve that conflict?
Sometimes there can be,
Yeah.
but I think they have been trusting us, taking our own calls. They can always give certain opinion, and we may disagree sometimes. But there is always some conclusion where we mutually agree. So we don't really go against without really like for example, even if we want to go certain way and they want to go certain other way, there will be some debate or there will be some discussion, but ultimately there will be a common conclusion where there will be a consensus like okay, like this is the way, and then they will be trusting us because on ground we are the ones who we are running the ship, like we are basically driving the car. So
That's right.
But I think it also matters who are onboarding, right? So again, the initial marriage is very important, right? So when somebody is just giving you a term sheet, that's why you are getting investment, I think it's not enough, right? So we probably spend enough time, are these right team? Are these people we should really take fund from? So that kind of deliberation is also important. And I think because
so
of
doing
that,
diligence on investors is also important.
in a more personal level, right? Because at the end, we take a call with other fellow founders, आपके investor थे, what do you think about them? Do you have? We try to do that a bit, not for everybody, but majority we try to do that. And then we sit insecure, investor is good, I think we should do it. Relationship will be happening well. So more than money is one thing, what else the person can bring on, the team can bring on the table is very important as well. And money is of course important, but that value is a lot. That's because we had a smooth journey because of that, right?
yeah, whether we like the personality, like for example, the fund might be great, the investors might be great, but whether you can work together comfortably over a period of 5-10 years, that matters.
Right.
Yeah.
And then trust is built, then investors also like little hands off. Okay, these guys know what they are doing, and they also don't interfere as much as it can. Unless things are something sneaky, something not right, obviously any other person will get involved, right? So it's two-way journey. For anybody. I think you can extract a lot of value if you use the investors rightly. But if you don't do it, then nobody's going to come and interfere in your upfront. आप बोलो ना कि I need your help, I need something.
What is the value that they bring to the table other than financial investment? I mean, any examples that you can share?
So they have been, let's say, giving inputs on, let's say, hiring, as I mentioned. So they have been connecting us to the hiring agencies or giving inputs on the kind of person we are hiring for, specifically for senior roles.
Right.
So because they have a good amount of data from other portfolio companies, so they can give some advice on, okay, what kind of person you should hire. They can also take some interviews for the senior people we are hiring. Second is on the marketing side, B2B sales side. A lot of investors have a very good hands-on experience, or maybe from their portfolio companies or maybe from their own journeys. So from B2B sales and marketing side also they have some good suggestions. So we have had our own brainstorming sessions with them. That how do you want to build a team, how the sales team should look like, what kind of incentive structure we should have. So all those things also are discussed very, very closely with them. So a lot of inputs on sales, marketing. On tech side, not much into deep, let's say, tech side, but again, they can help you with the consultants or maybe hiring again on the tech side. And then again from finance, governance.
See, we consider them as a sounding board whenever we need them, and that availability we have with them. So that helps. This person we are interviewing, we are a bit in cross-mind, can you help us out?
Right.
Or we are not able to get enough good profiles around this domain, we need your help.
Right.
Or things were not right in COVID time, how do we manage our finances, what should we do? We don't want to take our team off.
Right.
How can we manage this? So very, very candid discussions with them, it works out.
I think the biggest value add is them helping you with connecting in their network of investors.
Oh yeah. That's
The
the fundraising is a
the
different
fundraising-
element.
Yes.
Fundraise is the main.
They'll
Yeah.
sell subsequent fundraise.
So far it has been investor connecting us to some other investors, and so far we have managed to do it ourselves without any investment banker. All the fundraise have happened through us.
Okay.
Going forward, we may, like, let's say, need some maybe external parties. The intention is not to raise right away, but overall we have been fortunate to have a good support and network of investors through existing investors.
They also
and
vouch
doing
for
warm
us.
intros.
At the end, their neck is on the line as well. So they will vouch only when we are really making sense to them, right? So we have good relationship with them. So
Right.
I think that's a very important element. And I feel that that's what dedicatedly was done by Pramod, just to look at that sector. It kind of helped a lot throughout the journey, right? Because you can't do it in isolation. You can't just build this complex product one side and do that thing at the same time. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So in B2Bs, you need a hardware space, you need an investor who is more patient, who is going to help you over the journey. He'll be looking through. That is very important. I think for us it was very important. I think early stage seed was Arali, then we got 314, then we got ICICI, and all of them have been a very, very stellar investors for us.
Awesome. So, where is Unbox at today, and what does future look like? Let's look at that. So, 240 crores raised now, about 150 people in the company.
Yeah.
7 years later, right? Anything else that you want to share in terms of where the company is today? How many customers?
We have about 15 customers now.
Okay. And how many robots deployed across?
More
this
than
one?
500 robots.
More
deployed.
than 500.
Yeah. We should do double of that in the
Okay.
coming year.
Okay.
So cumulatively we should cross 1500 robots.
Right.
And heavily deploying in Europe and India, and US is now, let's say, getting traction as well.
Okay.
So we are going to go live in one of the 3PLs, like one of the large 3PLs in US very soon.
Okay.
In a couple of months. So that should open the doors for other customers in
Will
US.
that require you to set up some presence in the US, or can you manage it from there?
Right now it's a subsidiary. We don't have any person dedicated in the US, but we are
Okay.
currently in the hiring process.
Okay.
So we'll be soon hiring a team in the US as well.
Like a permanent.
Like a permanent person, just like the European person we have currently.
Right.
We'll have someone similar
Okay.
in the US market as well. So the idea is to go aggressive in those markets, Europe
Right.
and US, and of course we are also looking at other markets, but heavy attention is going to these
But
markets.
same product, same customer segment,
Yeah.
but more geographic expansion
Yeah.
across the
So
world.
from commercial perspective, yes, that's true. But as we have mentioned, like, we also have new products getting launched.
Sure.
So those will get launched most likely with our existing set of customers who are pushing us to introduce new products.
New products.
So they are kind of behind us that, okay, you have solved this problem for me.
Yeah.
Can you solve this problem as well?
Yeah.
Then we are looking at doing a pilot or a POC with the existing set of customers who trust us.
Right.
And they can give us a honest feedback so that we can learn fast and then iterate and get to a mature product. And then we can roll it out, scale it up.
Right.
Yeah. So same pattern, like
Same pattern.
work with 2-3 customers, mature the product, then expand it. Yeah.
So we basically focused on just ensuring that this one solution which we've built is enough to sort of get attention and build a unique sort of place in the market or position in the market for us. And now that's helping us. We didn't dilute our attention to multiple products at the same time. We were tempted very often to do that. But because of this attention, now often customers come and tell us, we don't have the right technology partner building this product for us. Can you build it for us?
Okay.
So they have built a trust in our R&D now that they are like, "Aap ye bhi bana lo hamare liye." And that's not India basically. Outside India, customers are telling us to do that. So that's a validation of our focus. And now is the time when the R&D is able to work on other new concepts, because yes, this is already in the market. It's working well now. Minor refinements and that's improvements and going on. But now they are able to go for multiple products, multiple patents. In just the last 6 months, we have multiple patents filed. So there is this whole platform, a brand, a position built in the market, which now can be capitalized on, which again is timed right, I would say. If you would have done it earlier, probably, again, we don't know where would have landed if we would have diluted our attention much earlier.
Right.
So on the product side, we are doing that, and core components, the philosophy that we have started working on recently is like we realized that If you're talking about just the mobility, just the robots which can move, AMR or AGVs, then there are very fundamental components that you need in that. There's energy, there's a drive, there's a compute, and there's a control systems, etc. Right? So most of these components are quite expensive in this system, and we want to localize it. So we already done our drive side. We are already working on energy side and the safety control and compute side.
Okay.
So over the end of this year, we will have all those with us. Now what it means is now tomorrow market asks for some different kind of a robot. For us, GTM is faster because our R&D, the core architecture is quite stable, we know, and you just need to wrap around the mechanical and mechatronics things, and you just get the product in the market. Where the core systems are very stable and very repeatable, right? So that's our theory. And around this, and we are strategizing everything around that.
Okay.
And in the mobility side, now we realize that any fixed automation also needs a drive, also needs a control. So it's very much scalable for us to eventually be a very hardcore R&D company. At the same time, you have a very finished output products in the market.
What gets you excited about, the roadmap with a customer? I mean, is it more about sort of building everything internally? I mean, is that something that excites you in R&D? Saying
So,
that let's do everything in India.
So I'm realistic. I don't think that we should reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
But the whole philosophy came from the fact that whatever components I'm mentioning, like these things, there are very small player in the world who provides it.
Okay.
So you probably interview like 20-30 companies of robotics and ask them which motor driver they're using. You will find a very common names in that. So there is a huge space there anyways. And these components are selling in premium because of the monopoly or duopoly.
Okay.
So if you really want to increase your bottom line and want to be relevant, I don't have a choice. And based on that, we started going down this road.
Right.
And it obviously excites me being an engineer at heart. So that's very interesting. You are doing something very complicated product and building it to a point. So that excites me a lot. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. And so humanoids, because we can't close the interview without talking about humanoids. Any thoughts?
They are on the way. They will have.
We keep on debating on that, but I feel that there are three big problems need to be solved in that. Without that, it cannot be that a global phenomenon. One is the safety on it, the cost, and other thing is data to train that system on a specific use case, right? Which has to be reliable or 99.5% accurate. So these are the three big problems. If that gets solved, then this can happen. My understanding is probably not as soon as a market make it think so, but I might be very wrong. I think that probably it's a decade away, but that's what I think about it. Rohit has a little bit different, I guess.
Pretty
but
similar. In fact, after debating a lot, we arrived at the conclusion that there will be certain applications where you're okay with a 98% readiness, and because the remaining two might take decades sometimes. Like autonomous cars is a good example. Like it's still not around us. Or even beyond a few cities globally, you don't see autonomous cars. Because even 99% readiness is not good enough there. The 1% can be a very disastrous situation. Same thing with humanoids. There will be household applications which will require that last 0.01% also solved. Otherwise, one incident and it'll all be across the news and nobody wants to buy the next one. But in industrial applications where there's no concern as such, is where the adoption will be faster, because there, what's the worst that can happen is the question they'll ask. Because AI today has hallucinations, but what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. You can still use.
There's no human safety element there because robots there's only robot zone. They are doing their activities, but homes, it's tricky, right? So the data has to be much more refined, much more vast data to train the models on, and cost 40 to 63 degree of freedom, and you understand the cost of magnets and motor that goes in. So how that will come down is something that has to be yet to see.
But we do believe there's room for general purpose robotics. There is definitely.
There will be a combination of humanoids and the special purpose robots.
Okay.
So it may not be either or, it will be and.
Okay.
You will have both types of robots working in industrial as well as personal spaces.
So in our sorting system context, the feeding will happen by humanoids and the backpacking might happen by humanoids, but sorting will still happen by us. But there's no other way. You need to have some fast moving robots to do it.
So your robots are in place. I don't think they will be disrupted.
Maybe some form factor we will improve it.
We'll improve it, but I'm saying fast moving robots, right? You can't, human will not move that fast, right? So the productivity.
The important thing will be like how closely you understand your customers. So because you can build whatever you want.
Yeah, that's right.
You need someone to buy that. So
correct.
We should know how the industry is changing, how the warehouses are changing, the processes are changing.
Right.
You can tweak your systems accordingly. So we cannot stay relaxed that okay, this is done. Now focus on only new products and forget about sorting. We cannot do that.
Right.
We have to keep improving the sorting elements as well. Yeah.
We sometimes think that whether we should indulge into making a humanoid or we not. We've always been like to and fro. That's why we had a lot of debate internally to figure out whether we should invest our time in this at all. We realized that if this is really going to happen as big as people say, then Apple's or the world will make it and we are nobody.
Right.
I may as well be a part of the supply chain rather than making the end product and spending and burning the money.
Correct.
So we said, okay, we'll do a special purpose robot journey. We'll have that core component theory which can be easily adopted to the humanoids as and when needed.
Right.
And we'll just have the strategy for now.
Got it. All right. Thank you, guys.
But again, we
Go
can
ahead.
change the strategies as the things evolve.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
So thanks so much, guys. This was a wonderful interaction. Really love the openness with which you all have shared today. I think it was a very, very good conversation. Love the fact that you guys, the way you all came together to build an awesome company, and I wish you all the best. I'm sure that it's going to go 10x and 100x from where it is today, and hopefully we'll do another interaction like this when you are 10x of where you are today. So all the best for that. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Amir.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
man.
Thank you for having us.